What's up, everybody, and welcome back. Let me fix my mic real quick. There you go.
You're good.
Welcome back to Double Edge Cinema Podcast with me, Ryan1988, or Justin, and this awesome guy right over there, TJ.
I'm up here.
You up here?
No, I'm just messing with you. What up? What
I
up?
was like, you never know. With this thing, you never know. What's up, Ashton? How's it going? What's up? What's up?
Ashton made it in at the get-go? Uh-oh.
Dude, I like it. I like it. Now, watching this, he's got to go and watch these 20 years later movies.
So he actually texted me a couple days ago and said he was about to start them, and then he found like a dead mouse in his house, or he smelled a dead mouse in his house and could not locate it. So they spent hours looking for this dead rodent, and he never watched the movie.
Well, now you hopefully you found the. You said you didn't find the dead rodent in his house.
I don't know if he did or not now, but
we need updates. I'm just kidding, Ashton. You don't have to. Anyway, definitely watch the movies, bud. So, anyway, TJ, how you doing, bud?
Doing pretty solid.
Good. So, I see you like pretty much every day, but I like to ask, what's up? What's up in the world? How's it going? What's hanging?
Just lots of work, lots of school.
Yeah. So cool. Any spoilers tonight? No, we won't spoil much, bud. Don't worry.
Very, very minor ones.
Minor.
Yeah, some kind of big ones if Justin catches my gist, because we know we're talking about that thing.
That thing?
That thing.
That thing, yes. That thing where I was in the theater like this parent brought their 8-year-olds, not judging because I watched scary movies when I was a kid, but I sat in the theater and I was like, do you think they're going to pull those kids out of the theater after what I even witnessed? Okay. Anyway. What's up, everybody? So we are back. This is episode 5. And we are talking about not only 28 years later, the latest movie in this long-awaited movie in this franchise, but we're going to talk about 28 days later, 28 weeks later, and then rank the movies. And at the end of all this, I thought it'd be fun, being that this is a scary movie topic, to talk about what are our scary movie moments. What scares us? Movie moments. So anyway, let's get started. TJ, you want to give the plot of this movie, where this one takes place, or?
Yeah. So this movie, hold on. This movie takes place in England, just like all the previous two movies. And this one, and I didn't catch this in the movie. I actually found this out from talking to a friend, that it stated in the movie that England was the only country that was affected, and that's why they were in quarantine.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. Maybe I misunderstood it, or maybe she misunderstood it. One of the two. But this movie takes place in England, particularly on one village that lives on an island out in the middle of the ocean. Yeah. And during low tide, they have one walkway to the mainland, as they call it. And during low tide, that's when they can walk out. But if they're stuck out on the mainland, when high tide comes back up, they can't get back to their village till the next low tide. Yeah. So this movie follows a dad and his son. His son is of age and going out to the mainland for the first time. He's been training for it. And then it kind of follows their experiences. Then the little boy's mother is sick, and he finds out, without giving too much away, he finds out that there's a doctor on the mainland, and he comes up with a brilliant idea to take his mother to see the doctor without his dad's knowledge. So it kind of follows the events of that and him kind of getting into a bunch of shenanigans. Overall, I've seen a lot of hatred for this movie online.
I'm seeing it too.
I don't know why it's so popular to just bash on movies all of a sudden. Like, it's just a common thing that we see all the time. If you don't like it, that's fine. It doesn't make it a bad movie. I thought this movie fit so perfectly with the 28 days, 28 weeks like series.
Yep.
They, which we talked about this a little bit in the last podcast. The first two movies were all filmed with like a old timey like camcorder
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, and this movie was mostly filmed with iPhones, which would be like the modern version of a video camera from back then. I thought that was a really cool thing that they did. It kind of stayed in touch with the originals. I thought they continued the infected because they're not really zombies, even though we all think of it as a zombie movie. I think
Yeah.
they did a good job of carrying on how the infected work with the liquids and everything. There was definitely a couple questionable decisions I think this movie did.
Went directions that you weren't expecting.
Yeah, there was two big things really off the top. Every zombie was naked.
We're all naked in this.
I
Every
mean,
one of them.
it didn't bother me, but
Me either.
It was a weird creative choice. And then without spoiling anything, the teaser for the next movie, like the very end scene, was kind of bizarre and didn't really fit, I thought. But overall, I thought it was a great movie.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it. I was highly impressed with it. Like you, I don't understand the hate for this movie. I will say this without spoiling anything. Like when you watch the trailer kind of plays it off like it's going to be a different movie compared to what we get in the last half of the movie. But that being said, I love the last half of the movie. I think it's possibly even stronger than the first half of the film.
I think the second half of this movie had more heart than both of the other movies.
100%. Like this is all about there's just you have the things that you love about these movies. You have the scares, you have the tension. But what I also love, especially about this movie, I think every one of these movies have it, but you have characters that you're invested in and characters that are well written, and I certainly think that like out of all these movies that we've had, these are the best characters, and it is a character driven movie. And the movie, and it's no spoilers at all, but without giving anything away, the movie is about the young man and this young boy going from being a child who was born on this island, and now he's going out into this world that he's never been into before, and he's having to grow throughout this movie. Yeah, I mean, I loved it. I thought the performances were great. I think that's the best thing about this movie by far. Like I said, I think the second act of the movie, the second half of the movie, is the strongest. Again, great scares, great tension throughout it, and a lot of emotion. Like there was moments that towards the end of this movie that I got emotional with. Like I was almost in tears. I was like choking up. Like wow, like there's like a good 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes where I was just like on that verge of like, crying. It was a good emotional moment between a son and his mother. Like I said, the ending for me, it did throw me off. Like when you get to the very end of this movie, but I'm sure when we get into the second movie, we're going to get explained like what this is all about and where this is going. So, or the fourth movie.
It was definitely an interesting. Are they doing 4 of them? I thought they were doing 3.
No, I'm talking about this is the fourth movie.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
The new trilogy. This is the second movie in the new. Trilogy.
Yeah. So this one is going to be 3 movies, all focused on the boy coming into adulthood.
Yep.
I'm really excited. The next one's coming out in January, which is honestly not very far away. It's 6 months from now.
Yeah,
so it'll be here before we know it. I'm excited to watch it. How would you rank this movie amongst the other two?
I would rank this. This is my favorite.
I think I agree.
This is my favorite by far. I think this
Yeah.
has. I mean, Danny Boyle, the director, directed the first movie, and you could definitely tell that. I love the way he directed this movie.
Yeah.
And the other movies have a lot of character and some heart in it. But I just feel like this is the strongest with the writing, with the characters, the directing, everything that you want in it. Like you were talking about, all the zombies or the infected people are naked in this, but I feel like that was like them saying it's been 28 years and their clothes have just like shredded away or dissolved
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
something like that.
Also,
I don't know.
so this is somewhat of a spoiler, but there's they didn't really explain it, but I guess like categories of infected.
Yes.
So there's like these little fat, no, not to body
Zombie.
shame,
No.
there's like fat zombies that kind of crawl on the
Yes.
ground and travel in packs, and then there's also alphas, which
Yes.
alphas, are like the alpha of the pack. They lead a pack of like smaller zombie, and the alphas are massive. And keep in mind, these alphas are naked.
Yes.
In the whole movie, they're getting chased by an alpha, and this dude is just swinging.
That's what I mean when I was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna. And yes, by the way, no fat shaming here or anything. There are
Yeah.
fat zombies that crawl on the ground. They're actually really creepy. Yeah, just creepy. They're all the zombies are infected people are creepy.
Yeah.
But anyway, you do have this alpha, and like I said, I was in the theater, and there was like 8-10-year-olds, or like there was 8 or 10-year-old kids in the theater. And I was like, is the parents going to drag them out? And never once did they leave the theater. And I was like, there's a lot of naked infected
Were
people
they
in there.
were they little boys or little girls?
Oh, I can't rember.
You can't remember. You just remember they're young.
It was dark. I was dark in the
Yeah.
theater when they walked in. I just kept thinking, I was like, are they going to walk out? No judging. Again, I watched horror movies when I was a kid, but I'm just like, wow. And then there was like some, older, like, not elderly, but older people in there too that I'm like, oh, they're seeing 28 years later. They love horror movies, rock on. And they stayed throughout it too. So
Yeah. What would you? So I think this movie was the best as well.
Oh yeah.
And of course, like you, I'm pretty sure you did at least. I watched 28 Days, 28 Weeks
Same.
prior to watching this movie for a recap because I hadn't watched them in decades.
Yeah.
I think this movie had the best characters, had the best heart. How would you rank the other two?
So I would rank the other. So like by the way, I rated the movies too. I think I gave 28 Years Later like a 4.8, maybe a 4.9 out of 5. But where I would rank the others, I mean, this is like going to be an unpopular opinion already, but rewatching them, while like some would probably say like 28 Days Later is the better story, my second favorite is 28 Weeks Later. I loved it. I rewatched it. I was like, this movie's great. I can't believe it's 17 years old already. And
I think they both brought certain aspects to the series. I think 28 Days had better characters.
Yes,
I think
100%.
I think the overall story was better.
Mm-hmm.
But I think 28 Weeks had more action.
Yeah.
The zombies were gruesomer. There was more gore. So it was just kind of two different aspects of the same spectrum.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with that. Like I said, 28 Days Later, yes, Power Property is the best characters and acting and story. But I think entertainment-wise and action-wise and just overall, like I had an awesome time rewatching 28 Weeks Later. It'd been a long time since I had seen it. And then I guess I'll talk about like where I ranked the last one. And this is by far, like this is still a great movie. Like this is a strong franchise. But 28 Days Later would be my least favorite one.
Yeah.
I think the first half of the movie, or maybe the first 20 minutes, like it just takes a long time to build and build and build.
Yeah.
But when you get into it, it is great. Like it is a great movie.
I feel like it didn't really like take off until like after he met the girl and the guy in the gas
Yeah.
station,
Yeah.
and then like right when they were meeting the young girl and her father.
Yes, I agree with that. I
Kind of
agree.
right in that area is where that movie really takes off.
And then you get like the third act where they go to the like this military style place, and you're just not expecting it at
Yeah.
all when you first watch it. Um, what I still love about the movie though is when they filmed 28 Days Later, that scene where he's walking the bridge of London and like
Mhm.
it's deserted. They actually closed that whole entire place down just to do that scene. Like everybody was gone, and I just I think that is brilliant. I love that. Um, we talked about this, so I think my biggest con rewatching the movie, not really a big con, like just a con of 28 Days Later out of the movies, is like when I was watching it on my TV, I just felt like the first half, at least the first half, was like super grainy
Fuzzy, yeah.
or fuzzy,
Yeah.
and I get how they filmed it and I totally appreciate that, but when you watch
Yeah.
it on a bigger screen or you watch it like 20 plus years later, that first like 20 minutes was just like hard to
Yeah.
get through
I
sometimes.
think it was I think it was a really cool like creative perspective that the director went with it.
Yes, yes, 100%.
I think at the time it was a phenomenal idea, but
Hmm.
it's just one of those things, and there was no way of knowing that our like television would upscale to the quality that it has.
Yeah.
So it's just something that they couldn't have known wasn't
Hmm.
going to age well.
Yeah.
But I do think it's something that like it bugged the hell out of me when I first started watching them. But the more I watched them, like the more I got used to it, and then by the end of the movie, it just didn't bother me.
Yeah, same. And I noticed too, and this might be, I don't know if you notice this, but sprinkled throughout the movie, there are moments where it's like not like super clear, but like it doesn't have that look or grain to it. I
Yeah,
honestly think sometimes, like when it would get like grainy, like it did in 28 days, weeks, and even sometimes in years, it's when the chaos started happening. And then you have those moments where it's not as grainy or it doesn't look as like fuzzy, and it's kind of clear, and it's those moments
yeah,
of calm with the characters. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah. And I mean, it's very possible that they weren't like they would swap to like a regular camera or something for some scenes, and then use the camcorders or whatever they were at the
yeah, but
time.
that's pretty neat. And when you go and you watch, especially 28 years later, and you see the making of, like, there's this shot where there's like 16 phones like surrounding this guy. He's one of the infected. And I just think that is really cool how they could do something like that. So, um, but yeah, like overall, I love this franchise. I think it's a great
Yeah,
franchise.
I
Very
really enjoy
strong
it.
franchise.
I think of 28 Days as one of the better zombie movies
Hmm.
from the 90s. There's a lot of them, which is a shame that there's not more, honestly, because
Yeah.
it's such a good like easy horror franchise you could do without overusing the same villain.
Hmm. Yeah. And I also love the fact that like you do have like these are infected zombie movies or infected people movies, whatever you want to call them. But they also have so much more going on with the movies, especially Days and Years. Like they have storylines that you sometimes don't expect in them. Like
Yeah,
in 28 Days Later, you have that again, that third act where they're at this like military base. You don't expect stuff like that to happen in the movie.
yeah. So,
Um, yeah,
so whilst we're on the topic of zombie movies, we'll branch away from it a little bit. What would you say your favorite zombie movie is?
my favorite zombie movie. It's always tough because I go back and forth, but I'm going to say right now my favorite zombie movie is Romero's 1978 or 79 Dawn of the Dead. Um, I love that movie because it has such a great story to it, but your main four characters you're with for almost 2 hours, and a lot of it. Oh, what's up, hey Nathan Mills? How are you, buddy? Um, and a lot of it takes place in this mall, and you're seeing these characters kind of um, develop. Their characters develop over time in the movie, how they shift, how they change.
So this is interesting for me because my favorite zombie movie, is also Dawn of the Dead,
Oh, okay.
but it's the 2004 version.
See, I love that movie too.
Yeah, I did not know that was I guess, reboot.
Oh, really?
I did not know
Okay.
that. When you were like describing the movie and talking about them being trapped in the mall and stuff, and I'm like, wait a minute, it's literally
Yeah.
the same. That's
Yeah.
interesting. That's interesting.
We'll have to watch the original Dawn.
Yeah.
I mean, and some people would probably say the movie's super slow and everything, but I love it. And Dawn of the Dead's not the original Dawn of the Dead's not the scariest movie I've seen, but for 1979, 78 when this movie came out, like the practical gore and the effects of the movie like are so good. And again, I really love the characters in the movie. You really start, caring about some of these characters and wanting them to survive this, and you see them adapt to this new life in this mall, like with the remake. And I love the remake. I think the remake is awesome. It's one of my, again, another favorite zombie movie of mine. And then, when was the first time that you saw Dawn of the Dead? 2004. I'm curious.
Probably 2004, 2005, like when it first came out. But it's definitely, out of horror movies, it's probably one that I've went back to the most.
Yeah,
I just love the movie. I think it's got a great soundtrack too. I mean,
yes, it does.
I just really enjoy that movie. Nathan said Return of the Living Dead, which is also a very solid classic. Nathan, I don't remember if you were in the last podcast where we talked about movies that we were very excited for coming out. So you may or may not know this, but there's actually a new sequel for Return of the Living Dead that takes place very shortly after the original, and it's actually Christmas themed, and it comes out. It comes out on Christmas Day at the end of this year, and there's a teaser trailer for it as well, and it's got the Tarman. Is that his name?
Yes, Tarman.
Yeah. It's just the teaser trailer just has Tarman like dragging a Christmas tree, so it doesn't show a whole lot, but it's still very exciting that movie's coming out and that we're getting more in that franchise universe.
And I'm excited for that. Again, my second favorite zombie movie is Return of the Living Dead. Like, I just love that movie so much. Love it. Oh, he says, yeah, TJ, I watched Tarman with the Christmas tree. Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a great teaser trailer. Cool. It got me super excited.
Yeah, I didn't know I was coming, and then when I was prepping, like I was like researching movies that were coming out, trying to get my list ready, and then that popped up. While I was like, I want to say I was on like IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes or something, looking at a list, and that showed up, and I was like, oh, it's just a upscale version or something that's coming out on DVD, and then I clicked it and read it, and I was like, wow, like. I didn't see that coming.
It looks good.
That was not on my movie bingo card.
I forgot about it too until you were talking about it. And I was like, oh, I'm so excited for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Return of the Living Dead, the original movie, super fun movie, super entertaining, super quotable. Like, it's intense at times. It's eerie at times. Like, the best thing though that you get away from that movie is the soundtrack. Like, I really love the soundtrack and the characters. Some other favorite zombie movies of mine, I love Night of the Living Dead, the original George A. Romero classic. Rest in peace, George. I miss you. Day of the Dead from 1985. It just celebrated its 40th anniversary. Night of the Living Dead from 1990. Tom Savini's Night of the Living Dead. That's a great remake. And then, of course, you have The Walking Dead, which is a great show, and
you're missing
I remember when that came out.
3 good ones right there.
Oh, which ones am I missing?
You're missing Shaun of the Dead.
That's a good one, yeah.
Comedy classic. You're missing, obviously, 28 Days, 28 Weeks. You're missing Zombieland.
Oh, that was good.
Also a good one. The Resident Evil franchise to an extent.
Yep. I got
Um,
one.
Go ahead.
Return of the Living Dead. Well, I like 2. But Return of the Living Dead 3. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's the one where it's like the female zombie, and she like starts putting like metal or glass in her skin. It's a pretty awesome movie from like the
That sounds
1990s.
familiar.
It's one of my favorites too.
My gosh, when I was listing movies, another movie popped into my head, and then it's gone. Don't remember what it was.
Sorry, kind of like try to think of some other. Well, let's see. Nathan's got some other stuff to say. He says, wasn't one of the actors from the original. Let's see, wasn't one of the actors doing
Return of the Living Dead.
They might be. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
Return of the Living Dead. There's like some iconic moments. Obviously, you have like the Linnea Quigley, love her, but like her grave dance and like her quote of like what does she say? She's like, "Have you ever thought about death? I try not to think about dying much. Well, I think about it all the time, and the scariest way to die would be a bunch of old men grabbing me and eating me alive."
Anyways.
Oh my god.
Oh, I remember what the other movie was. Oh, World War Z with Brad Pitt.
Oh, that's a good movie.
It was a good zombie movie. And then I thought of another one while I was trying to think of that one. This I would think technically counts, but Pet Sematary.
That would count, actually.
I would think so.
That movie scares me. We're gonna talk about that in a minute, but that movie scares me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, that is one movie. Hey, is my audio good? Can you hear me?
You sound great. Yeah.
That is one movie where I literally, like, sometimes I have to skip scenes because I'm like, if I watch that whole entire movie and there's moments in the film, like, it'll be embedded in my head.
I thought of another zombie movie.
Which one?
Evil Dead.
Oh yeah,
that's gotta be high on the list. Both the original franchise and the new franchise, because Evil Dead Rise had some of the best cinematography of any horror movie of all time.
And like you can categorize those movies as like possession and zombie movies. Like,
yeah.
But no, Evil Dead's great. I love Evil Dead.
Yeah, I guess that would be a little bit more possession, I guess, but still.
You got the zombie. You got people like tearing up each other's skin and everything. So I totally could see it. Definitely see that one. So I'm trying to think of some other good zombie movies. Like I know that. There was one I haven't seen it forever. Oh, you know what? It's literally called Zombie from 1979. Lucio Fulci Zombie. One of the most like on the edge of your seat type of like eerie zombie movies where like it gets under your skin. Have you ever seen this movie?
I don't know if I've seen any movies from like 1970 anything.
Jeez, like you need to watch them. Zombie is like there's an iconic moment which I won't give away because I want you to be surprised when you see it. That has to do with an eye, and the one thing that I just gets under my skin is when like anything has to do with eyes, like
eyeballs,
touching an eye, eyeballs, like.
I'm not a big fan of eye stuff either.
You will watch this movie and you'll be like, like gets under your skin type of stuff. But anyway, Zombies are good. Shockwaves from 1975. That's a great one. That one is like takes place on a deserted island pretty much, and you have these like Nazi zombies that are like in the water, and then like they slowly start rising and like attacking people. So and they're slow burners, so like they don't like you don't see like a lot of blood and gore in the movie, but the atmosphere is so good in that. And then I was thinking about another one that I love, and it's called One Dark Night. And this can be categorized as a little bit of possession too, and zombies. And like you have these zombies that just pretty much no emotion on their face, but they just float through this mausoleum. and start attacking people. So
Okay, I have a really random one.
okay.
And there's actually a sequel for this movie that comes out, I believe, either this week or next week. I
Okay.
think next week. So there is a Disney musical, and it's
What?
literally called Zombies.
What?
I'm
I've never
telling you.
even heard of
Okay,
this.
so the premise is, and my daughter is obsessed with these movies. There's three of them.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. And it's kind of, High School Musical esque zombies. So the premise of this movie is zombies were created during some kind of like
Hmm.
lab, or I can't even remember exactly. It was like a lab explosion or something poured in the water or something like that, whatever. But
Yeah.
anyway, zombies are created, but they're like intelligent zombies,
Yeah.
and they're segregated from regular humans.
Hmm. Wow.
And yeah,
Okay.
and this is the first year zombies get to start going to school with regular humans. And then the
Hmm.
main character, his name is Zed, Zed the zombie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds corny. It's Disney. He's
It's
going to
okay.
try out for the football game or the football team. Well, they get to school, and of course, all the teachers are prejudiced. They're like, zombies have to learn like in the basement or whatever. They're
Yeah.
not allowed to talk to other kids. They're not allowed to try out for the football team. And then Zed the zombie meets high school cheerleader Addison.
Yeah.
Blossoming romance. Uh, they have bracelets that allow them to control their zombie. And Zed's bracelet kind of goes out a little bit. And when he
Yeah.
goes out, he has kind of like a roid rage moment where he's like
Mm.
unstoppable. So he starts using his bracelet while he's playing football to be really good at football. And then
Okay.
zombies start becoming popular, blah, 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 so
I'll
on
have
and
to
so
check
forth.
that out.
Yeah, they're bizarre, but mildly entertaining. I have an 8-year-old. I'm sorry. So in the second movie, they bring in werewolves, which
Ooh,
which I'm
okay.
a werewolf guy. The
I like werewolves.
werewolves are also kind of corny, but
I
and
love
then
werewolves, dude.
in the third movie, they bring in aliens.
Oh, okay. Look at that.
Um, Also, kudos on your part. All the aliens are LGBTQ, so
Nice.
you'll like that.
I
But
like that.
the fourth one comes out next week. I believe it's next Thursday, and they're bringing in vampires, and I think the other ones are called like day seekers or something like that. And
Hmm.
from the trailer, it looks like they're people that use like sunlight magic,
Oh,
and it's kind of
okay.
emphasizing that one of the vampires and one of the day seekers or whatever they're called, or
Yeah.
dawnbringers or whatever, are like there's a blossoming romance between them. Yeah,
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
It's gonna be interesting. I will say I don't think the third one was very good, but
Yeah.
the first two, even though they're not technically my cup of tea, they're entertaining movies.
Yeah. So I got three others that I thought about. So I'll save the best one for last, in my opinion. Underrated movie, but like I think of like Michael Jackson's Thriller music video. Have you seen it?
Yes, of course.
It okay, iconic, iconic, and I love the dance and everything about it. The Vincent Price narrating the music video is great. But anyway, such a great music video, and like 40 years later, it still holds up so well. Like I miss when music videos were like that, where like it was like these huge productions, and you got uh what's Martin Landau, I think. I'm probably butchering the name. Anyway, the director from American Werewolf in London directing it. Love that. There's a movie called The Midnight Hour, and it's a made-for-TV movie from 1985. It's Halloween themed, and you have witches and vampires and ghouls, but you also have zombies in it. But the one that I love isn't even a horror movie. It is a teen 90s comedy called My Boyfriend's Back. And it's about a teenage guy. He's kind of like not the outcast, but he's not really popular. And he's in love with this girl that he's always had a crush on ever since he was 5 years old. And one night she's working at a gas station, and he's like, well, I'm going to, set up this fake robbery, and I'm going to act like I'm the hero, and I'm going to save her and stop this robber. Well, he goes into the gas station, and when his friend is about ready to go in and act like the robber, a real life robber comes in and the main guy is shot and killed, and he comes back to life, and he's given sort of a second chance, but he's a zombie. And so he's wanting to fall in love with the girl and take her to the prom. And meanwhile, like, he's eating the bullies that like picked on him. And you have like, there's one moment where the parents, he walks in the house after being buried. He's like, "Hey, mom and dad." And they're like, "Oh, hi, son." And then they start freaking out because they're like, "Oh my gosh, how are you alive?" And they go along with it. And there's a moment where after he's eaten one of the bullies, he goes home and, he's talking about he's had a rough day and the people want to get him. And they're like, "Oh, we got something for you, honey." And they open the pantry closet and it's this 8-year-old boy. And they're like, "Just in case you need a snack later." And he's like, "No, I'm not going to eat this 8-year-old boy."
It's like murdering people for it. That's funny.
It is so good. It has a lot of heart to it too.
That made me think of the movie Warm Bodies a little bit.
Yes, another one. I love Warm Bodies. My Boyfriend's Back, though, seriously, like, underrated movie. Like, so underrated. I love it. And it's really about him having to be the zombie, but getting the girl of his dreams.
Yeah.
And coming from somebody, a gay guy, I'll tell you this, the lead actress in the movie, she was also in a movie called Fright Night Part 2. She was like, if I was straight, she'd be like one of my crushes, like from like the 90s. Like she's a beautiful, beautiful actress. And she kind of just disappeared after My Boyfriend's Back. But yeah, love it. Oh, and Matthew McConaughey's in it. Like, he has a small part.
All right.
And then you have Phyllis Seymour Hoffman, who passed away. He was in the last Hunger Games movies.
Yes.
But he has a part, and without giving spoiler, this is a spoiler. He is the bully that the guy eats. Like, he accidentally kills him, and he's like, "Well, I gotta get rid of the body." Like, just eat the guy.
Does he eat the bones and everything?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
He eats Buck. They're like, "You ate Buck." And he's like, "I can't help it. I'm a zombie."
It's like, it's my nature.
It's a great movie.
I think we need to do a werewolves episode and the vampires episode.
I was thinking the same thing.
Because I love werewolves, as you know.
Yeah.
And I think werewolves, vampires is, I just think werewolves is like extremely underused. I would love to get some good recommendations from you for some werewolf movies. We'll talk about that another time, though. Vampires, there's so many vampire movies, so much good content with that. Let's talk about scenes that scared us.
Oh, yeah. So I was thinking
stories related to, I guess, too.
Yes, that too. Because I have plenty of them, and there's ones that really pop out in my mind. And I think that's the thing, is like stories behind these scenes that really scare us. Like, when did we first watch these movies? How did it affect us? Do you want to start this one?
Okay. So I really only have like maybe 2 stories. I really don't get scared when I watch movies because I know they're just movies, I guess.
Yeah.
But I went and watched.
Jason, what's up?
What's up, Dev? J-Dev. I don't remember if I watched this movie in theaters or when it came out on DVD, but I do remember that my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, because this was like 2011-ish, give or take, but it was the first Conjuring movie.
Yeah.
I remember when it came out, I was still living with my parents, and Megan came over. I don't remember if we watched it at home, went to the movies, but she was staying over for the night. We were both adults at this point, so it was a little more relaxed in that area.
Megan
was it on DVD? Okay. Yeah, so we watched it on DVD, and I was not scared watching the movie. I really enjoyed it, but I wasn't scared watching the movie. Was we living together? I swear we were staying at my parents' house. But anyway, we watched this movie, and it came time to go to bed, and we laid in bed, and I started thinking about this movie, and I don't know why, but I got so freaked out. And then I started talking to Megan about it, and then I was so freaked out that I freaked her out. And then we ended up like sleeping with the lights on and the TV on because we were scared we were going to get possessed by ghosts.
Oh my gosh. She says, yes, I got scared because you were scared. Or I was scared. Gosh, that movie is creepy. Like every time I watch it, it gets under my skin.
Yeah.
The scene where we've talked about it, but like when the little girl's like banging her head on the dresser and the sister's like, okay, let me bring you to my bed and you can sleep here tonight. And she gets back up and she's looking at something and you see that demonic looking witch on top of the dresser and she jumps down. So scary. That movie's a very creepy movie.
Yeah, just something about the story, like where the mom like got possessed due to her like love and like wanting to protect her children.
Yeah.
Like just something about that kind of hit with me. Yeah. I don't know.
One movie I can think of that I just drew a blank. What's the movie? What was it? Well, I'll tell you this story. So they're not necessarily like scary movies now. I think the first one is still like eerie and creepy, but I remember being 5 years old and my older sister's friend had brought over some movies, and this is back when it was the VHS days, and she put on J-Dip says nothing really scares me. I'm a scaredy cat. I'm telling you right now, if there's a certain movie and I watch it, I'm like, okay, this is kind of freaking me out. But it was Nightmare on Elm Street, the original Nightmare on Elm Street. And I remember I'm sitting behind the couch and I'm like, I know I'm not supposed to watch this, but I'm watching it. And the scene when even like the beginning of it where like Tina's in her dream and she's going through the boiler room, you haven't seen Freddy yet. It's eerie. But then you get to the moment where she's having her second dream and you just hear Freddy's voice outside the house saying, Tina. And then she goes through the alleyway and like Freddy appears. Like that stuff, it still affects me today. Like it's a creepy moment, but I remember being a 5-year-old, like terrified. I couldn't move from behind the couch. I thought like if I move, Freddy Krueger's gonna get me. And I remember I sat through the first one and I thought, well, she's done. And then she put on Nightmare on Elm Street 2. And for like 4 hours, I'm just this 5-year-old sitting behind this couch. Yes, I'm sitting behind the couch terrified. I didn't watch another Nightmare on Elm Street movie until I was 16. Like, it affected me that much. And it's one of my favorite franchises now.
Megan, did we watch the first Paranormal Activity together? If you're listening, because maybe that's the movie I'm thinking of. I just remember there was a movie we watched together when I was at my parents' house, and I remember we were in my bedroom there, and I remember we got up in the middle of the night and like turned all the lights on. Maybe it was Paranormal Activity. I can't remember.
First Paranormal Activity is good.
Yeah,
J-Dip says one of the reasons why my mom let me watch any horror movie because I was never scared. That's awesome. Like I mean, there's just certain ones that get me. Like, what was the one that I watched 4 years ago? It's called The Dark and the Wicked. And my friend Lewis always laughs at me because I'm sitting down watching this movie, and it's about two. They're not kids, but they're adult children, just adults, brother and sister. And they're worried about their parents. Their dad is sick, and they're telling their mom, hey, do you want us to come here? And the mom's like, no, don't come here. We're good. You don't have to come here. And they don't listen, and they wind up going to the parents' house, and a lot of terrifying things start happening. And it affects the mom, it affects the dad, and it really affects the kids, or the brother and sister. And it's like this entity movie, and the whole time, TJ, I'm not lying, the whole time I'm sitting down watching this movie, and I'm on the edge of my seat every second that this movie's on. And I remember like I was probably like 60 minutes into it. And this was like around Christmas time. So I had the Christmas lights on and everything. Like I was like, okay, I shouldn't be terrified of this. 60 minutes in, I paused the movie. I call Lewis and I'm like, I need to take a breather. I'm like, can we talk for a little bit? Like I was like, my
I
heart
think it freaked
pounding.
you out, huh?
It freaked me out. And I remember just talking to him. And then 45 minutes later, after talking to him, I'm like, well, let me finish this movie. I'll be okay. And then the rest of the 30 minutes that this movie was on, I was like, edge of my seat, terrified. And I have not watched the movie since. Like, I own it. I love it. But there's just something about it that gets me every time.
Okay, so I got one. On this one, I don't even know if I've ever told my wife this because this movie itself did not scare me, but I have a story. So, and I will forever remember this dream because
Real quick, Megan says,
it
I don't
freaked
remember
me
that.
out.
Your parents, but we did watch that one. Cool.
She was
Okay.
talking about paranormal activity.
Yeah.
So, I remember very vividly this dream I had. So, when I was younger, we lived in a trailer. Okay. And when you walked into the trailer, there was the living room.
Yeah.
And we had a one of those couches on the left wall right by the door that had a pull-out bed in it. And I would frequently have night terrors, so a lot of times my mom would pick me up and we'd go lay in that bed.
Yeah.
Okay. And this night terror, I was probably like 12, 13. So I was a little bit older, but still, young enough to be scared of stuff.
Yeah.
And I had this dream where I woke up and I went in the living room and my mom had her back to me. She was standing by this couch and she had her back to me. And I was talking to her and she was acting really funny. And I remember saying, "Who are you? You're not my mom."
Oh, gosh.
Okay. And she turned around and smiled. And when she smiled, her mouth was like really wide.
Wow.
And it freaked me out. And I woke up. Now, fast forward 20 something years later, there is literally a movie about a freaking demon that makes you smile before he kills you.
Wow. I know,
Yeah.
smile. That's terrifying. I was
Yeah.
thinking about that movie when you were talking about your dream.
Yeah, that movie doesn't scare me, but just the correlation, like I will literally forever remember that dream because it was one of the scariest dreams I've ever had. But just the correlation there.
Those movies scare me, by the way,
Yeah.
just so you know. Like, I saw the second one in theaters and I was talking at the screen. I was like, no, don't. Like, I was that type of person. I had a dream recently and it terrified me, and I don't have a lot of nightmares. Like, they just don't pop up. But this was like 3 days ago and it made me so uncomfortable, TJ. I woke up that morning and I could still remember it. And it's very simple, but I kept getting obscene phone calls. And it was a person with heavy breathing on the other end of the line. And they kept calling back. And eventually, this eerie, like, man's voice. You would think that this would be like my lover calling me, but this is not what's happening. This is like there's just like deep man's voice that like is just, he's like, hello. And I don't know why it freaked me out.
Yeah.
Another time I'll say I had a really strange dream is this had to have been like maybe 10 years ago. And in the dream, I'm in this like dark room. It's black all around me. There's nothing around me except you just see the back of me sitting down. And like, you would think that like somebody was touching my shoulder or something, because when like I felt somebody touch my shoulder in the dream, it's weird. I literally woke up, jolted out of bed, and swung my arm.
Yeah.
Like,
Just ready to fight.
I don't know what it was. I was like, I never saw who was behind me. Like, you never see like the figure or whatever it is, but like I jolted and I swung my arm. Like, it was more like a slap, like trying to get up. It was so weird. J-Dub says he does not have nightmares at all. Like, it's rare that I have them, but I occasionally will have them.
I very rarely have dreams anymore as an adult. I think mostly I'm just so tired by the time I go to bed, though. It's just, I don't have brain activity enough for it.
I did have a dream. This is my own nightmare. I did have a dream where I was on this like really nice date with this like Italian guy, and this was like me, like this was like romantic. And at the very end of the dream, like I'm about ready to kiss this guy. We're in a pool, and my alarm wakes me up for the morning, and I'm like, son of a gun! Like, I'm like, why did this happen?
So I've got one more scary story. It's probably that's probably the best
like,
one.
Is it like watching a movie, or is this like you being scared?
Well, it's watching a movie that correlates to being scared.
Okay.
I may have told you this story. I don't know if I'm gonna tell you again. Okay. So when my parents didn't care what I watched when I was a kid. I mean, obviously they weren't letting me watch like pornographic movies or something, but like they didn't care. Scary movies, whatever. So I frequently watched the Child's Play movies with Chucky.
I did too.
Yeah. Okay. And the one thing about Chucky is Chucky always goes after kids. Mm-hmm. Oh, even though in the movies he only kills adults, the main focus is that he's trying to take over a child's body.
Yes, exactly.
In every movie. So what the movies terrified me. I had so many nightmares about Chucky.
Yeah.
So many. I vividly remember a nightmare one time where I went, my mom's room was it was in the same trailer. My mom and dad's room were in the other end of the trailer. Mom was sitting on her bed folding laundry. I went in there and sat on the bed, and Chucky popped out, tried to kill my mom, and I remember fist fighting Chucky.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, like I was terrified of this damn doll, but I could not stop watching the movies. I don't know why.
I'll tell you this. So I had a My Buddy doll, and My Buddies were like the 1980s like version of a Chucky.
Yeah.
And I've been told that the very first one I had, I kept throwing away.
Yeah.
Because I had seen Child's Play like when I wasn't supposed to, but it was there, and I was like, I kept throwing the doll away, and my parents kept bringing that damn thing back, and I'm like, listen, I'm like 5 telling you all I don't want this thing.
Well, there's more to the story.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, you're fine. I mean, it related. Yeah. So because I watched this movie so much, my parents bought me a My Buddy doll.
Oh my gosh. I have like 6 of them still boxed up.
I was terrified of this fucking doll. And we in the trailer park, literally, like I live like smack in the middle of the trailer park, essentially. Yeah. And there was a big dumpster, pretty much like in an empty lot right across the street from my house. And I took the doll after like 2 weeks of having it out. I tossed it in the dumpster. Yeah. Didn't make nothing about it. Of course, my dad knew I threw the doll away. Knew I was scared of it. Didn't say nothing to me. Went and retrieved this doll out of the dumpster.
Oh gosh.
I have older cousins at the time. Oh. I was, I don't know, 10, 11. My cousins were 14, 15. Mm-hmm. They came over. So, I mean, I'm sure you've been in a trailer. They all have a pretty typical layout. You have a couple bedrooms on one end, a couple bedrooms on the other end.
The one on the other side.
And a big long hallway that usually leads to the back bedroom.
Yeah.
Well, my parents' bedroom was the back bedroom. Mm-hmm. We had one bathroom. You had to walk down the hallway that my parents' bedroom was at the end of, and the bathroom was in that hallway.
Yeah.
I had to pee. It was nighttime. My cousins were over. I don't remember. We probably had a babysitter or something. Our parents were out together. I don't remember exactly how it went down. But I remember walking down this bathroom or this hallway to go to the bathroom at night, and one of my cousins was hiding behind the damn bedroom door.
Oh, no.
Holding the damn Child's Play doll by the back. So from my perspective, the doll was standing in the black doorway by himself.
Oh my god.
I had a full freaking meltdown.
Oh my gosh. That's terrifying. Like I would be jumping out of my skin. Yeah, gosh.
Yeah.
So I remember I watched a movie called Suspiria, 1977 Suspiria. For the first time, I was in my 20s. Well, let's see, how was I? Yeah, I was in my 20s. I like around 20 years old. It was like 2009 when I saw this movie for the first time. And it's actually, the house is actually on the same street that I'm at right now. My dad was in the military. We moved off and on throughout this neighborhood. Anyway, I'm watching this movie, not knowing anything really about it. And there's a scene in the beginning of the movie where a character's looking out a window and like you see something outside, and then all of a sudden these like white eyes appear. And when I'm watching this movie, it's at midnight at night, it's pitch black, and the basement windows were like these huge windows where you can see outside. But because it was midnight, you couldn't see anything. So the whole time I'm watching this movie, I'm looking at those windows and I'm like, I know no one's watching me right now, but like the idea of like somebody like being in those woods watching you as you're like doing something, it's just terrifying. Yeah, creepy. And then like I can go on with so many movies. Like Pet Sematary was a movie that freaked me out. Zelda still gives me nightmares. Like I can't. Sometimes I have to skip her scenes because I'm so terrified. Anything to do with like Ouija boards, witch boards,
Yeah.
I don't mess with because I've seen one of my favorite movies is Witchboard, the original, and it's still a very eerie and effective movie. And I'm like, I'm not going to mess with that. It might not be real, but still, I would be in that situation where we'd be playing the board, and like something would come home with me, and I'm like, I don't.
Yeah. I
don't
believe
mess with
in
that.
I believe in the spiritual. I've seen
I do
ghosts.
too.
I've seen ghosts. So my whole thing is like a physical slasher doesn't intimidate me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd probably die, but I could fight back.
I'd
But
be
like,
the first one dead. I'd be the first.
if a ghost comes at you, what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
There's nothing. You can't punch a ghost. You can't run from a ghost. You're done. That's it. You're cooked.
I mean, there's movies like there's a movie called The Entity out there, and it's based on a real life case of a woman who was attacked. Other things happened, but I don't want to say it on the stream. But this spirit or this demonic presence was attached to her pretty much up until her death. Like even when she moved away, like this thing kept following her, and she never saw what it was. She didn't know what it was. It just one night she came home after a regular day, like it's in the movie too, and she's attacked. And she doesn't know what it is, and it keeps attacking her.
It's stories like that too. Like we live here in Kentucky, and the Waverly Hills Hospital is a very popular, like well-known ghost site. Mm-hmm. And like even just recently, Megan's hairdresser invited us to go with her and a group of friends to tour Waverly, and I'm like, I don't want nothing to do with anything that is known to be haunted.
I don't either. So, were you done with your? I feel like
no, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I sense things sometimes. Like I went to a convention. This was Scarefest. This is the one you're gonna go to this year. This is one I'm going to. But like a few years ago, there was somebody who was selling like dead animals and dead insects, and they had a glass box of a human corpse, mummified corpse, like crouched down and everything. And I remember going near it, and I was like, I'm feeling uneased right now. Like I don't want to be around this thing. Like I just felt something about it. I was like, one, it was a heartbreaking thing to see, but two, there was something weird about it. I was like, I need to get away from here. I was feeling it just felt so odd. There was another time that, well, actually, I'll tell you this story. So where I used to work, which was Family Video, and I'm not the only one, but I felt like that place was haunted.
Yeah.
And it only happened at night when I was by myself in the store. There would be there was moments where like we had our counters, and like I'm seeing like right in front of me is like a row of movies, and like the game room is in the back, and I'd see like there would be a movie that would just fall off the shelf, and I thought, well, the first time it's just coincidence, maybe it just fell off, but it was
Yeah.
always that same spot, and it happened several times.
Yeah. Huh.
And then we had a adult room in this place, and it was like in the back corner. You remember the layout of the store?
Yeah.
So it was in the back corner. In order to get into the adult room, you had to open and close the store. Well, one night I am counting my drawer, I'm closing up, and I hear the door open. And I thought, oh, like somebody's still in there. The door shuts, and no one came out.
Okay.
Like it was, no one came out, and I heard that door open, and I heard that door close, and I saw nothing. Like,
Look at that! Look at that! The drawer balance. It's time to go.
I was like, I'm balanced. Let's get out of here. Like, creepy stuff. And my old manager at the time, I won't give her name out, but
yeah,
she.
I know who you're talking about.
I know you're talking. Yeah, she was. I remember when it would start snowing, and she lived kind of like. I know, I see that too. I just wanted to view some adult material. They did. They were a bunch of freaks. These ghosts. They were freaky freaks.
They were playing with their Halloweeners.
But I remember she would it would snow, and she lived 30 minutes away, and she was like, I'm not going home. So she would sleep at the store overnight, and I'm like,
hell no.
I was like, you're insane. Like, you're crazy.
Unless I live like 2+ hours, I'm going to bed. I'm going home.
She was like, I bring a blow-up mattress and everything. I'm fine. She's like, the first night you just hear things. I'm like, the first night you hear things. I'm like, I'm not staying overnight for this.
That's crazy dedication. Like,
because she would have to like open the store the next morning. She's like, well, it's snowed in. I'm gonna go to the grocery store, grab a few things, and
I guess there was Kroger like right there.
Yeah, she would stay the night, and I'm like, oh hell no. I'm like, I'm not ever doing that. I remember when I became manager, my dad would always joke. He's like, hey Justin, it's gonna snow. Are you gonna stay the night in the store? And I'm like, no, thank you.
I will walk, motherfucker.
Or you're gonna come get me.
Yeah. You put your hiking boots on, Dad.
Come get me. You got a bigger car than I do.
So I've got a story too as well.
Oh gosh.
Ghost related. I've got a couple, but really kind of. So our first apartment was here in town. I'll tell you about it, off camera. But anyway, our first apartment, we lived there for I think it was 2 years.
Yeah.
And I have a theory that there was a little girl that died there during the big tornado back in like the 80s. Yeah. I don't know though for sure. It's just a theory. So there was one night. So this apartment was pretty simple layout. So you walk in and you're in the living room. There's a dining room / kitchen area straight on the left. Uh-huh. There's a window in front of the kitchen, a window in the living room. In the back of the living room, there's a little cutout. You go to a little hallway. There's 2 bedrooms and then a bathroom. Okay. So we slept in the right-hand bedroom. Left bedroom was an empty bedroom, bathroom. So one night, I got up in the middle of the night, had to go pee. Just not thinking about nothing, pitch black. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. I go to the bathroom and I hear a giggle in my ear.
Oh no!
Like a little girl giggle.
Oh my gosh!
Okay. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Freaked me out a little bit, but I was like, yeah, probably just imagined it. No big deal. So fast forward a few months later, I'm in the living room. We had the couch on the diagonal wall, TV here, doorway to the hallway right here. Our bedroom straight across the hallway, and then the bathroom to the left. Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting here playing video games. I was playing a game called Destiny 1 for any of my gamer friends. Big Destiny 1 fan back when it was popular.
Megan, by the way, says, I always felt like that kid was tugging on me. Oh,
yeah. So yeah, creepy. But anyway, I was playing video games, and without thinking about it, I hear our bedroom door open, I see a shadowy figure walk from our bedroom toward the bathroom.
No way.
I'm zoned in playing the game. I just assumed it was Megan going pee. Didn't think nothing about it. Fast forward like 40 minutes later, nobody comes out of the bathroom. I'm like, what the hell? So I pause the game. I get up and go check. Megan is sound asleep in our bedroom.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Okay.
Oh.
Creepy, but again, it's late. Maybe I wasn't really paying attention. Maybe I imagined it. Okay. So fast forward. Now you remember the layout of the apartment: living room, dining room, window in the front of the dining room, in the front of the living room. Okay. The night before, me and Megan went to bed. Megan was talking about how she was really craving some biscuits and gravy. Right. So I'm like, okay, I wake up early the next day. I'm going to run out. I'm going to get us some coffee. I'm going to get her some biscuits and gravy, take care of my wife. So I get up, I go get coffee. Oh, I go to Dairy Queen, order her biscuits and gravy, and I come back. So now on the other side of the wall, I parked directly in front of the window to the dining room, and Megan parked directly in front of the window to the living room.
Yeah.
Okay. So I pull up into my parking spot, looking directly into the kitchen, and I see we had a little dining room table with a chair on each side, and sitting in one of those chairs was a little girl with blonde hair.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I pulled up.
Oh.
I see the little girl. I look down to unbuckle my seatbelt. My brain registers what I saw. I look back up. She's gone.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. Oh my.
So Megan's my fiance at the time. We're not married yet. So fast forward like a year, we're still in the same apartment. We're engaged. We're getting ready for our wedding. We're sending out wedding invitations.
Yeah.
She reaches out to one of her old friends, as one does when you're trying to get people together for a wedding, to ask where she lives. Hey, I'm going to send you a wedding invitation. Friend responds back, oh yeah, what are you up to these days? Where are you living? So Megan responds, I'm living in so-and-so apartments. Her friend says, oh, I used to live in those apartments. Are they still haunted? Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Gosh, that is
a full circle.
That's terrible. Oh gosh. Yeah, I believe in the paranormal. I believe the spiritual world. I believe in ghosts and everything. Like I lived in Oregon at one point, and I swear I saw this, but it could be the reflection. I don't know. But anyway, there was an old hotel that was like closed down. It was this huge place for the longest time. And before they opened it back up, we would always drive past it. And I swear every time we drive past it, I would see what looked like a red cloak on the inside of the hotel. Like there was a person running across like these tall glass doors that you could see through. It freaked me out because it happened every time. You would see this like figure that was red just running across these large doors. Months later, they opened it, and it felt so creepy when you walked in there because the hotel rooms, the doors were these huge, gigantic doors, and they were always so hard to open and close. So creepy stuff. Let's see. Megan said, and I ran into people that moved in after who said they had things happen. That is creepy.
Yeah.
And then Nathan, where I think it was like close to Bend, Oregon. That's where I lived. In that town also there was a street called Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah. So there's a Elm Street in Muldrow.
Is there really?
Sure is.
Okay, so I have another story. So this did not happen to me, Bartek, but it happened to a friend of mine. So remember I was telling you about Ouija boards, how I would never play them, would never mess with them. So I went to an 8th grade birthday party, and I remember it was Super Bowl night, and she was having a party, and about 5 of us left, and a group of friends stayed behind, and obviously she was one of them. She had a Ouija board, and they went upstairs to play the board. And
I would
as
have
they're
left right there.
as they're playing this thing, it starts moving by itself. She freaked out, and her dad came upstairs, threw the board out the window. Well, anyway, for like a good 2 or 3 months, there was some presence in there with her.
Yeah.
Like they opened something to where the
Yeah.
something was there. See, this is why I don't mess with that stuff, because I'm
gotta say goodbye.
I'm like, hell no, I'm not
Yeah.
messing. Have you ever
No.
messed with anything like that?
No.
Like
I've been around people who were using them,
Mhm.
but I've not personally used one. No.
Have you had
Nor will I ever.
Have you had people in your life say stuff has happened when they mess with it?
No, not with a Ouija board. I haven't. But back to that story a little bit. My great grandmother on my mother's side is like a full blood Indian. I want to say it's like Cherokee or Blackfoot or something like that.
Yeah.
But she lives on an actual, or lived on an actual Indian reservation.
Oh wow.
And my aunt, my mother's sister, claims that she's psychic and can see dead people.
Oh my God.
And said that maybe I have the gene. I don't really believe in that kind of stuff. I believe psychics are real. I don't believe that I'm psychic, nor do I. No offense, Della. I don't believe that she's psychic either, but it's just kind of interesting.
I did have a coworker. She witnessed things in her personal life. I won't tell too many of the stories, but to the point where she was seeing figures and dark figures. I had a relative. I'll just say a relative. I'll tell you the story after we're done, but they witnessed things people that they thought were there, and they weren't actually there.
Yeah.
Creepy stuff. And I saw a video, the relative I'm talking about sent me a video of something happening, and I was like, holy crap, scary stuff. So I think that the family video, I think that when that tornado came in the 1970s in the town that we live in, I think what was there prior to that building that's there now, something had to have happened, because that's why I think that there was some type of ghost or something going on in that family video building, and it carried on. And I don't know. I had a coworker. She told me the same thing. She's like, every night I would close the store, and she would see videos fly off the shelf. She's like, you're not alone. I'm like, that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's super creepy.
Creepy. But anyway, so we talked about movies that scared us, but then we talked about real life stuff.
Yeah, we talked about ghosts, spooky. Bend, Oregon still has a Blockbuster video. It's the last one in the world. Also, Derek. Also, Derek, how are you doing today? I don't think you said anything in the chat.
Oh, he did say something. He said the ghost. No, he said the ghost wanted to view some adult materials. They did. Yeah. They were wanted to view those. So, how are you, Derek? But yeah, speaking of that Blockbuster, I have a documentary about that Blockbuster, and I love that documentary. And one of my goals is to go back to Bend, Oregon. I think I lived in Bend, Oregon, or close by it, and visit that Blockbuster.
Yeah.
It would be pretty awesome.
I've got some family in Oregon. Okay. My Aunt Debbie lives in Oregon. I'm not 100% sure. I know it's close to Portland, 45 minutes short of Portland or something. But
maybe I lived in Portland. I was I was 8 when we moved there.
I've been talking about going to visit her literally every year for the past 3 or 4 years, and I just haven't done it because I'm too cheap to buy a plane ticket. It's literally the only thing holding back. She's already said I could stay at her house, I don't have to pay for a hotel or nothing. I just got to go there.
I got one more story. This is not really ghost related, but Lewis, and I've talked about him several times. We were watching. It might have been the first Strangers movie. Something. We were watching something. It was that night. I was by myself at the house. My dad was out of town. My cats were there, but they would not protect me. They'd be like, no. Whatever, we're ditching you. And I remember we stopped. He left for the night, was pitch black outside, and he called me afterwards, and he was like, Justin, I don't want to scare you. He's like, but there is a black truck that was parked behind mine that is still there. And I was like, what? And I looked out the window, and there was a truck there.
Just
And
hanging out.
I was like, he's either like my soon-to-be husband, maybe that'll happen in my life, or some creep. I don't know what was going on, but
Or the last thing you ever see.
one of those situations. it was there for a while, and then maybe like 40 minutes later, I came back from down upstairs, and the car was gone. But I was like, this would be the way I would go. Like,
Yeah.
I'd be, attacked by somebody in a black truck outside. So the one thing about the strangers that terrified me was the setting is like this house that's like out in the middle of nowhere, and it looked like my grandparents' house when I was a kid.
Really?
Like
Okay.
I'd go visit them, and the house looked like it. And that's one of the reasons why that movie terrifies me, is because of the house. Because I'm like, that house looked exactly like my grandparents. It was a one-story house. It was a huge house. And from the wood patterns to the way it looked like the house from The Strangers. So, yeah. Pretty creepy stuff. Oh, and Derek says, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking.
Good deal. Well, yeah, anyway. I think we're at 1 hour and 20 minutes now. We should probably wrap up. Yeah. So this one has been 28 days, weeks, years. Our next episode in honor of Jurassic Park coming out this weekend, or Jurassic World, we will be ranking the Jurassic Park movies, Jurassic World movies.
Yep, and I've watched one so far.
I watched all of them in like 2 days.
I mean, I've seen the movies, but I've rewatched one.
Yeah.
So, but you've gotten on me about the Loki Marvel shows. I'm also like,
I want you to watch. I'm a diehard Marvel fan. I want you to watch them, mostly because every time a Marvel movie comes out, I'm gonna want to talk about it.
Yes. And I'm the only one that's like seen most of the Marvel movies.
Yes. And I don't know what you're gonna need to watch prior to Fantastic Four.
To watch
outside of the ones that I've steered you towards to watch, Thunderbolts.
Yeah, because I've not seen that one yet. I did watch Captain America 4, and I really enjoyed that. So, anyway, my friends, everybody watching, thank you if you're watching now. Megan, Nathan, Derek, Jason, Ashton. By the way, Ashton.
Make sure you like and subscribe. Ryan 1988. Make sure you like and subscribe. Double Edge Cinema Podcast.
And I also put your YouTube channel, Screamz Streamz, down below too. So.
And I guess go ahead and like Screamz Streamz as well for content once every year.
Once every year. He might make a comeback, everybody. He might make a comeback. So.
Honestly, which I haven't had a lot of time right now because of school and then working 2 jobs. But I've been playing the new Assassin's Creed, and I've been thinking, because it's a single player game, very story driven, I've been thinking about streaming it, but there's also a couple horror games. One of them I've been thinking about replaying, Until Dawn, the video game for that movie we watched.
Yeah,
I've been thinking about replaying that, and I think that would be a cool one for people to like watch and like interact as well.
I like that.
And it's kind of like watching a movie together, but it's like an interactive movie. So it might be a fun one. Yeah.
And we have ideas. We've also talked about with our Double Edge Cinema channel, maybe do like doing shorts or something like that. So
yeah, I think at Fear Fest, because we're gonna be hanging out a little bit that Saturday. I think if we like meet any actors or whatever, we should do like little shorts together or something.
Walk around, show the convention. I love doing stuff like that. So. I love it. But anyway, so Jurassic Park and World, we'll be doing those next time. I'm also excited because I know we did last summer comes out. I'm very excited about that.
July 16th on the next episode, ladies and gents.
So, and then what was I going to say real quick because I'm having a brain fart. Oh, happy 4th of July, everybody.
Absolutely.
I hope you have a great one. If you're watching, I know we did last summer, like we just did, or if you're eating hot dogs, grilling out, or whatever it may be, watching Independence Day. I'm a movie nerd, so I'm watching movies all the time. Have a great 4th of July.
I've never seen it. I've never seen Independence Day.
What? Are you insane?
I know.
Oh my gosh! You get on me about these Marvel shows,
Or the
mister.
sequel. I know. Yeah.
It's fun. I like
anyways, happy 4th of July.
Happy
July
4th.
16th, Jurassic Park. Have a good one. Peace out.
Love you all. Have a great night, day, whatever. And this is gonna awkwardly end because we still have to wait till this stuff ends on stream. So